You could recall we have said several times that this government inherited a severely damaged system. Virtually nothing was in good shape. But people continue to, make claims that what we are saying is not true. And like the saying goes, seeing is believing. Part of what we complained was that as at 29th May 2023, when His Excellency Dr. Dauda Lawal came on board as a governor, he entered the government house but could not meet a single operational vehicle, either for his own use or for the use of other government officials to keep the government machineries moving. We took time to study the situation, after which the government now made a statement asking the former governor and some of his officials to return government vehicles in their possessions. And you could recall, you had the former governor responding on various international media, including BBC, denying that he has gone away with some vehicles belonging to the government. This government is a government that uses education, rule of law, and due process to pursue whatever it is pursuing. After all such denials, the government now went to, seek for court's intervention on the matter, which granted an order that enabled the Zamfara State Police Command to, seize the vehicles that belongs to the government that are or were at that point in time at the two residences of the former Governor Bello Matawalle. After seizing the vehicles, now he approached the court asking for the vehicle to be returned to him as him being the rightful owner of these vehicles. At the same time, filing another suit seeking for the court to grant him his right to own property as a citizen of this country. Yes, we know in the Constitution there is provision for one to own property, either movable or unmovable. But those properties should be yours and should be lawfully earned. That is where that stands. Lawyers know this better because this is not my field, but from what we have known from the Constitution and some other proceedings of the court, you cannot just take away close to 50 vehicles belonging to a government and refuse to, hand over them to the new governor. So virtually the governor has been moving without a convoy of the government, which are his, right to use as a new governor. So reality cannot be hidden. No matter how much you make attempt to close it, and no amount of media propaganda or lies, will cover anybody from his own lapses. Glory be to God. These vehicles are right now in the government house after, receiving a court verdict, which shows that these properties or these vehicles actually belong to the government. Perhaps the former governor who claimed to own them did not give any evidence beyond doubt to prove his ownership of these vehicles. Thank you. You are here and you will go around to see them. And these are some of the things we are seeing. And that's why we are suspecting sabotage. This sabotage can come in different forms. The general public have the responsibility to ask questions. And we have the obligation and responsibility to keep them informed. Especially when when against the background of the last media interview granted to BBC, where the governor was saying that all his belongings, including charcoal, stove and some marriage material kept for his children and so on and so forth. Seeing is believing. Immediately after this briefing, you go around to see for yourself. Right now, as far as the court is concerned, the vehicles behind me here belong to the Zamfara State government. So we call on people to continue to rally around the new government. What makes His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal, clearly different from all the governors that we had in the past, is his sincerity of purpose and commitment. Sincerity of purpose because he has already won the public trust. Whenever he says this is what he will do tomorrow, people have that confidence that he will do it. Governor Dauda Lawal is such that a leader that you cannot just put in a tight corner and force him to say what he knows is not going to be possible. That is why when people make requests, what he can do, he will outrightly give approval. What he cannot do, he will plan for it. Sometimes he will tell you, he will see what is possible. He will tell you, he will study the situation. He will tell you that once you bring out things that are good for the state, he will look at them, and if it involves putting them in the next year's budget, he will certainly do that. What you can never accuse Governor Dauda Lawal of is playing politics with the development of Zamfara state. We call on people to continue to support this government because the government is on the right course, and what it is doing is to ensure that the masses or the citizens of the state are removed from the, nightmare they have had over the past 20-something years. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you for coming. Well, you can see that some are still being brought. From day before yesterday, some drivers have been very busy along with security men bringing them. Right now that I'm talking, behind me are some of the vehicles coming. So perhaps we could have up to 50 that have been taken away. And the question one will be asking, every right-thinking person will be asking is, where was he going with all this vehicle? How many days do we have to live in this world? How will you account for a single vehicle rather than taking away this? And what is the implication of this kind of behavior from people who are supposed to be, elder statesmen? What are they teaching the younger generation coming?
Where are the locations that you are recovering the vehicle?
Some of these vehicles were recovered from his house in Gusau and some in Maradun. But it is to be known that all these were done by the security themselves. People should not think that it was acted just by whims and caprices or by sentiment. Every vehicle that was brought here was following the court order because they remained there until last Friday's judgment, when now they are being brought here. It is not people in the government house that gathered themselves and say, let's go and bring our vehicle. It followed a court verdict.